friends on YouTube. Today I like to welcome you from the middle of the concrete jungle, and I like to show you how to make my favorite bird trap. This bird trap I like so much because you can catch any bird with this you like, and you can also make it stronger, and then you can catch bigger animals with this. Now for the start, I'm just gonna take an easy knife, take all the bark off, now I completely remove the bark from the fork, and what I want to do now is cut the fork a little bit shorter, like here so, and cut the one side of the trigger board a little bit shorter as well. Okay. The next step is I would like to flatten out the board of the fork, so the trigger system later on sits kind of smoothly together. And here it's a little bit bumpy. I want to flatten this out, and on the other side too. And on the ends of the fork I want to make two little notches so the rope doesn't slip away later on. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Show you how it looks like later. That's good enough. Now I can string, no, not already stringing the trap. I need to make the power stick for the trap now. For that, I took this piece of wood. Now it's much too long, so I'm gonna mark the size. I'm gonna split it, and then I'm gonna fit it in. Okay, watch me doing that. It's not too thin. And what I'm gonna do now is put a little pouch in here for the stick doesn't slip out of the rope. So, good for now. What we have is our fork, and we got the trigger stick that will run in there. For the stringing, I'm gonna use the kite line, 300 kilograms it can take, and very important, I'm going to use beeswax. Although this is a nylon string, the beeswax will make it nice and sticky, and it will work only good on it. And one really good thing is the knots are gonna hold on this rope much better than if you don't use beeswax, because that rope is very slippery. It has no flex at all to it, so if you use the beeswax, it helps a lot to make your rope secure and put it in place well. Okay, for that, just gonna wrap your rope into the wax. Now I completed our power rope here, and I'm going to put the power stick in, the so-called power stick. Put it in where I did my notches, and now I can see, whoops, like that. Now I can see where I need to cut my power stick, and I'm going to do it right there, so they are on the same line. I'm going to take a finer saw for this. Okay, so far so good. Now I'm taking the saw and I'm gonna cut right in here on the tip, and I'm going to do this on the other side as well, because this is where my trigger piece is going to be afterwards. So if I just carve it, I'm scared to break off the hook piece, but I really want this, so I take the saw. It's better be safe than sorry, you know. We already worked quite a while on this. Okay, I put the power stick in, and I put it on power, and now I can set the trap up already like that. And what we're going to do now is making the trigger system. Next step now is I take my board and I'm gonna hold it here, and I'm gonna measure where I wanna cut in now. I take the saw and I cut in here, and I'm gonna cut in here. I put the the trap up again, and I put the trigger on, and that's us right there. So now, because I told you I like to change the trigger system, what I like to do now is I want to make a very sensitive trigger for someone who steps on a platform. And to do this, I'm gonna drill a hole in here, cut it shorter, have our hole. That becomes very important in the sensitivity of the trigger. Okay. Next thing we need is a board, a longer stick as a board. First I make the part where I'm going to drill a hole and where I put the rope through. And for this I'm going to choose the biggest part of the board I have, and this is here on the end. Now I need to cut the board in length, because my whole trap only has a very little way it pulls the snare. Okay. See, it sits right there, and that's exactly where I want it, because now it has the most leverage to just pull the hook back from the both pieces that are caught in here. Just that very little movement, that's enough for me. Okay, very nicely. Let's see how it looks on the trap. And by adjusting the trigger, it's up to me how sensitive it will be. So let's do the lighter test again. Very small lighter. Drop it from about 10 centimeters on the board, and it works. So far so good. To finish up the trap, the last thing we need to do is make the snare, and use the same string of the snare to secure the trap to a tree or something. Because even though the whole thing gets broken, the animal is still with the sling tied to the tree. So that is our main focus, to catch the animal, not to make a fancy trap. So I take a longer piece of rope, I wax it, I put it on, and I show you how I do this. Okay. I set the trap up, the animal comes along, and get caught and cannot go away, because with the trap it is caught onto the tree, and I nicely got him. If I want the sling to catch the animal higher, I can put it rather up with sticks, or make the animal step deeper in the ground. Okay, so it just catches a little bit higher on the foot. I really like the trap so much because you can build it on a day at home where you don't like to go outside, and it doesn't pack much in your backpack. You always have a very good and easy to set up trap with you, and it just saves you a lot of time out there. You can concentrate on other stuff, and you know, okay, I already have one trap working. Yeah, hope you had fun with this film. Bye bye, and thank you very much for watching.